All right, guys, I gotta be honest. I'm just gonna say this right off the bat. I don't know about consistency. I'm obviously recording this after that big uploading schedule that I had before, where I just said in one setting and made a bunch of videos. And I gotta be as honest with you as I humanly can be right now. Y'all know it, because y'all can see it before I even finish this video, and that's just kind of how videos are. But if I had to bet money, this video is going to be very long. Mainly because I have to cover 4 separate characters to actually perform this video. So I don't really want to have that long of an intro just because I don't want this to be too long. So I'll just keep our intro the same as I normally do. Today we're going to be doing Finn and Jake versus Mario and Luigi. Now, with that being said, I will be covering each of these characters. So actually, there will actually be technically 5 different sections this time, because I can't cover both characters in one section, so it has to be 5. So because of that, if I had to bet money, this video is going to probably be 20 minutes or longer if I had to bet money right now. If you guys do enjoy the video, please be sure to hit the red subscribe button. Let's get into this right now, so hopefully this doesn't, like, you know what I mean, like, last for that long. We'll see how editing goes, though. I'll be covering Finn first, then Jake, then Mario, then Luigi, in that order. So let's do this right now. Finn Mertens is the main protagonist of the show Adventure Time. Yeah, that's all you need to know. Like I said, I'm trying to cut this down. With that being said, to help cut this down, I will only be going over the AP and speed of the characters. That's what I normally only care about anyways when I actually discussing anyways, and it means a lot. So we can go ahead and get into this now. Looking at Finn the Human's most earliest attack potency interpretations, I've covered Finn before, so actually, you know what? Just to make this video even more or less of a chance of it going to 20 minutes long, since I've already covered Finn in a separate video, which I will have like a card in the top if you want to like get a like full in-depth like take on Finn, like from beginning to end. Finn is actually an exception. I can actually do that. I was planning on making a video for Jake, but I haven't gotten around to it yet, so we'll just do Finn. And like, you know, so when looking at Finn, we could say he has his highest levels of attack potency are universal level plus, because he defeated Arkathok, who is beyond space-time and comprehension. I butchered that name, by the way. Was able to tear holes in space-time and was stated to be a peer to Nazagath, who is older than time, and logically tanked the Big Bang, was capable of fighting the Lich, who created a reality inside a book, complete with an outer space, far higher with ultimate sword, granted Finn and Jake the ultimate power in the universe, broke a sword stated to be is multiversal level because it's stated to never met anyone stronger than them, with Jake agreeing, despite knowing Prismo, who can destroy entire timelines. This crossover and their by farm world timeline story arc is canon to the comics. So we can say that Finn's highest attack potency is low multiversal because of this. I think it's consistent, so I'll say low multiversal for attack potency. When we look at the speed for Finn the Human, at its highest, we can say at least immeasurable, likely omnipresent, can give itself a new mode of existence beyond the comprehension of 3D beings, and a new realm of existence according to the Enchiridion. Being merged with the multiverse, at least likely immeasurable because he reacted to the speed he was going at when he tagged Arkathak. Immeasurable is kind of, you know, pushing it, but, you know, it's arguably there. And you can make an argument he's omnipresent. But other than that, that's going to do it for Finn section. Let's get into Jake the dog section next, because, well, Jake is supposed to be helping Finn in this battle. So, yeah, clearly we want to do Finn, then Jake. That would just, you know, make the most sense to do. So, yeah, let's get into Jake, right now. When looking at Jake the dog, his classification is a dog / shapeshifter hybrid. No surprise there. Jake the dog is the antagonist of Adventure Time and the brother / best friend of the protagonist, Finn the Human. Now, I haven't covered Jake, so I actually cover all his stuff. You know, very, 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 you know, I'm going to do the same thing for him as well. Just ignoring powers and abilities and focusing on attack potency and speed. When looking at Jake's most earliest interpretation for his attack potency, we can say that he's able to stretch out to cover the entire planet. This will make him planetary. Then we can say he's large planetary because he knocked down the Glob Demon, who, if not higher than Finn, but yeah, that kind of makes sense because Finn in a you know, when you think about it, is technically weaker. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense in context. when looking at Jake's speed, he was originally massively hypersonic because he was shown to dodge attacks from Finn, who once again is relative to Jake for the most part. And we already said how is he measurable to like MLTL plus levels of speed, but you know that's pretty low. But that was like back in like original like seasons and whatnot. But yeah, he gets a buff and he gets inaccessible levels of speed because he moved in the antiverse, which is outside of the constructs of the multiverse, and is stated to be pure nothingness. So that means for Finn, we have inaccessible to low multiversal, and I mean, yeah, I meant to say immeasurable. Wait, I think I did say that. Yeah, I thought I got it mixed up with Jake there for a second. For Jake's speed, it's inaccessible to high multiversal level in terms of attack potency, and speed is inaccessible. I think I kind of mixed those together there. So yeah, I wanted to separate those. When we look at those two, they're pretty dominant, but let's just see how Mario and Luigi stack up. I've done a couple of videos on these characters, so yeah, but yeah, I've never actually covered Mario, so yeah, let's see what Mario has going on over here. Mario is the main protagonist of the Super Mario Bros. Franchise. He normally fights against the main antagonist Bowser with the help of his brother and sidekick Luigi. In order to save the damsel Princess Peach, Mario has also encountered many other friends and foes, but Bowser, Peach, Luigi, and himself are the most prominent characters. He was born to a stork and carried to his home when all of a sudden Kamek had flown and snatched up his brother and the transporter Stark. Mario plummeted to the ocean below, but conveniently landed on a Yoshi on Yoshi's Island. The Yoshi set out to help Mario save his brother, the latter of which who, due to brotherly telepathy, knew Luigi was in danger. Now, for Mario, I know a lot of y'all are going to be like, well, let's just go powers and abilities and whatnot. If I'm not going to do that for Finn and Jake, I'm not going to do that to Mario and Luigi. Plus, honestly, I've covered Mario and Luigi before. I did make a video on these two combined, but I don't like that video, and I'll be redoing that video overall. So yeah, we don't even need to talk about that. Now, looking at Luigi scaling in particular, it's a little different and genuine. So yeah, but what I'm trying to get at here is it's not that necessary to cover all their powers and abilities in that respective. But what we will be doing is covering attack potency and whatnot, so that we can get a good idea of how strong these characters are. Now, for similar takes, Mario is a character, and I'm pretty sure you guys know this, that has many different games. Not all that are canon to his initial story. And because of the controversy I got in the comment section on what's real and what's not, I think Paper Mario is canon to the Mario verse, and because they have interacted with Mario before. If you guys don't think like the Mario verse is canon, like the Paper Mario verse is canon to Mario, then that's your thoughts. But my personal opinion is that it's canon. So when it comes to like the hearts, I think they are canon. So if I give those to them, they would be that strong. And we'll just see how strong Mario and Luigi would be without them. But in my personal interpretation, I think those are canon to the verse. So yeah, that's just all I wanted to say on that. But looking at Mario and Luigi, we can say that just looking at Mario. Sorry, I forgot I'm just doing Mario scaling. I forgot you have to separate these guys, even though they are relative to some degree. In the end of the Republic is actually legitimate in Mario. It would mean that intelligible world with all universal concepts exist, and thus aspatial and atemporal forms also exist, and thus the void would erase them all, and thus Dimentio would be able to too. Hyperverse level, likely high hyperverse level, possibly outerverse level with the pure hearts, kills Super Dimentio. Planet level, this is planet level scaling, because he fought numerous enemies empowered by the royal stickers from the Grand Sticker Comet, which grants wishes and holds wishes from across the planet. As evidenced by the first Paper Mario, wishes hold power, so this scales, and that means it equals. Then we can say large planet level as shiny Paper Mario, because he can strike with the power of 1,000 stickers. Just one sticker constitutes Paper Mario's base power, as this will be 1,000 times greater. High multiverse level plus to likely hyperverse level, because he defeated Black Bowser, who was empowered and possessed by the black paint. The black paint makes up all the space itself and is still with an individual color on their own. Above link proves that something I'm going to put in the video. Thus, we can safely conclude that anything that has color, which practically everything does, is made up of some amount of black paint. Finally, as I've proven above in the concept manipulation ability, paint makes up all concepts, which include the concept of dreams, which is what makes things like Dream Depot possible. thus making Mario likely high hyperverse level to possibly outerverse level. With that being said, that's going to do it for Mario's attack potency. Now I'm going to look at the speed for Mario, which is obviously going to be pretty high considering this man has like, tons of like feats on so on and so forth. Looking at Mario's speed, we can say he's massively FTL because he's far superior to Lord Chump, who returned from being blasted out into deep space far past even the moon within a absolute worst a few hours. Immeasurable with or without the pure hearts, because the void consumes all existence, all worlds, all dimensions, all timelines, all possibilities. This means it nukes all of time and space, and the void itself destroys all of time and space at all time periods as well. The void is definitely rather of higher dimensional order, as it's not even under the conventional aspects. The conventional aspects, I want y'all to hear that one more time. That means it nukes all of time, space, and the void itself destroys all time and space at all time periods as well. The void is definitely rather higher dimensional order, and is not even under the conventional aspects of near and far, and is actively comparable of existing all throughout time and space, and since it erases stuff above time in all aspects, it should naturally be into these areas. The characters actively reset the void dozens of times and should scale off of it. Possibly irrelevant, I'm not going with that. I'm going to say immeasurable. And last but not least, MLTL further scaling because the black paint spread across all the space in the universe rather quickly, and the CS Paper Mario could keep up with it in combat as she should scale. With that being said, that's going to do it for Mario's speed and attack potency. We have irrelevant, arguably, levels of speed. I'm not giving him that. I wouldn't give him that. I give him immeasurable levels of speed. That's just me personally. And we have something around the lines of massively FTL as a baser for more like, but he's like immeasurable in terms of scaling without either. So keep that in mind. Now we'll move on to Luigi scaling, which I have done in multiple other videos. So I will just fast forward like the scaling for Luigi in general. This way it'll be a lot easier for all of us because since I've covered him in multiple other videos. And I'll just make a separate video eventually to cover him specifically, so that I'll always have something that I can just tell you guys to go look at if you want a more in-depth thing. But for right now, we're just going to scale Luigi for like the concept of speed and whatnot, as I'm pretty sure nobody wants to watch a 20-minute long video for no reason. Luigi is the younger brother and sidekick towards Mario. Since his debut, he has been in every Super Mario Bros. Title, with the exception of a few. Luigi helps his brother save Princess Peach from Bowser, the main antagonist. Like his brother, he was born to a stork carrier to his home when all of a sudden Kamek came from nowhere and carried on Luigi as well as his transporter Stork, but missing Mario. The latter plummeted to the ocean below, while the former was held captive at Bowser's castle. Mario met up with the Yoshis, and utilizing brother telepathy, he seeked out and saved his brother from the Koopas. Now, like I said before, I already have scaled Luigi, so I'm just going to get to like the prime scaling for Luigi. So this actually will be probably the shortest section that I probably do. I'll have to see after the video's finished, but if I had to guess, it would probably be like the least. We could say that at one of Luigi's highest interpretations of attack potency, we can say he's likely hyperverse level. This is because Dream Depot is possibly infinite dimensional, possibly outerverse level because Plato's book, The Republic, exists in Mario and is referred to as the truth by Aristotle, who in real life was the only person to object to Plato's theory of forms introduced in the Republic. There are analogies that bear resemblance to those in said book, and likewise the game says that it explains the world, the universe, and all things, and answers countless questions. In the end, if the Republic is actually legitimate in Mario, it would mean the intelligible world with all universe concepts exist, and thus aspatial and atemporal forms also exist, and thus the void would erase them all, and thus Dimentio would be able to too. Hyperverse level, likely high hyperverse level, possibly outerverse level once more, because without the Chaos Heart. The Chaos Heart was shown 3 times to make the user unstoppable unless the pure hearts are brought into the picture, and even so far as stated to be invincible in comparison to everything, making the Chaos Heart the most powerful artifact in the entire Mario-verse, aside from the pure hearts, and with the pure hearts should be comparable to other heroes of light who were capable of killing Super Dimentio. So we once again have the same scaling for Luigi pretty much, which I was gonna say was probably gonna be same because I've already covered this multiple times. I haven't covered Mario, and his was pretty similar anyways. Looking at Luigi, his speed is even very similar, as Once again, we could say, massively FDL scaling because scales to Dreamy Bowser, who scales to Antasmum, who scales to Dreamy Luigi, who jumped out into the sun in 1 second. Then we have immeasurable levels of speed because Super Dimentio exists in the verse 2, and his goal was the same, to nuke existence, since he'd nuke all existence, all time and time periods, traveling all across time and all of space and moved in the void, which is what was erasing said existence. The character should be this level of speed. And to further the immeasurable levels in scaling, we have Chaos Heart and the Pure Hearts. Luigi is like immeasurable without him, just like, Mario. The void consumes all existence, all worlds, all dimensions, all timelines, all possibilities. This means it nukes all of time and space. And the void itself destroys all of time and space at all time periods as well. The void is definitely rather of higher dimensional order, as it's not, even under the conventional aspects of near and far. It is actively capable of existing all throughout time and space. And since it erases stuff above time in all aspects, it should naturally be into these areas. The characters are actively reset the void dozens of times and should scale off of it. So we can say possibly irrelevant due to that. But now, once again, don't agree with that. So I'm going to give it a measurable to MFTL levels of speed. And finally, with that being said, for Luigi, we have finished all 4 characters in their scaling and can now officially discuss who I think wins, which will also take a lot of time. But nonetheless, let's do this right now. Okay, so we're looking at this fight from like the outside looking in, which I'm not because I've seen both of these and played most of the Mario and Luigi games. I have to be completely honest with you here. It seems like Mario, Luigi, Finn, and Jake are actually pretty close. Assuming that Finn and Jake would be working together and Mario and Luigi would be working together, and considering the fact that Mario and Luigi actually scale to each other pretty well, I think it's fair to say that we're looking at Jake attack potency and speed and Finn's attack potency and speed, and seeing how well they could really help the other one to win the battle for the most part. When looking at the speed for Finn, we said that I think he's likely immeasurable, and I actually do agree with this to the most part. Anything lesser than that would be MFTL plus, but he did react to, the Arc Attack, who is beyond space, time, and comprehension, so I'm just going to give him immeasurable levels of speed. Now, if you guys remember, Mario and Luigi both actually had irrelevant level scales for their speed, but my personal interpretation and opinions say that they are just immeasurable level in terms of speed. This would mean that Finn, at least, is as fast as them. Now, when looking at terms of his attack potency, though, when we look at Finn the human, he was, arguably low multiversal level, which where most of my battles normally tend to go into the sideways area is when looking at them from all aspects, and that includes attack potency. When we looked at like Mario and Luigi's attack potency, there was clearly a serious difference between that and that of Finn's, where we're talking about high hyperverse levels of attack potency, and then we're talking about, high multiverse level of attack potencies and whatnot. Now, I said I agree with the high hyperverse levels for him because Mario did defeat Black Bowser, and that is a very impressive feat alongside itself. But what's even crazier than that is when we look at somebody like a Luigi. I mean, just look at him. He's very comparable to Mario and arguably the same, as he also has outer verse levels of scaling, which is even higher than that of hyperverse level. Now, that was just one interpretation. You might just want to say, like, MFDL plus. So, I mean, looking at it from that angle, honestly, I just really think it's just Mario and Luigi just kind of wins here. I mean, clearly I think they would have some trouble with Finn for the most part. That's who they would really struggle with. I mean, immeasurable speed. I mean, the power isn't really there for real compared to that. But if you think he's omnipresent, then that could be a very big problem. I mean, they would have to deal with. But either way, the power that they would just have and the speed they would have and how, that going for him, I just think Mario and Luigi would just win this. Now, if you think, like, I don't know if weapons would really change something. I don't know what weapons you're looking at, because Finn just has a bunch of swords, and that's not to, like, nerf his swords or whatever. That's not really going to give him that crazy of an advantage. And Jake doesn't really use weapons. He's just himself. And Mario and Luigi, once again, if we did even use those, they would have a million times more of an advantage. So for me, looking at the scaling, specifically the scaling, and also my own interpretations and knowing the characters and knowing that they being in character really wouldn't change much for the most part, the scenario that I could make wouldn't really matter. Mario and Luigi would still win. I just think Mario and Luigi win with like no diff to low diff, if I'm being honest. In any scenario at any time, due to the scaling, they just win. Now, once again, if you don't take Paper Mario into, like, you know, account either way, because, like, remember, like I said, like, immeasurable levels of speed with or without the black hearts. I mean, without the pure hearts. So that doesn't actually matter. They don't need that to be that fast. They're just that fast with or without them. So yeah, keep that in mind. The pure hearts come into play for attack potency for most of the part, and high hyperverse levels, the outerverse levels can kind of be scaled even without those, as I said, being able to beat Black Bowser, so on and so forth, which would still make them stronger for the most part. And Luigi scales to Mario, and those aspects, as you guys saw, like, most of the scaling was exactly the same, you know. And another thing I want to say real quick, I do not use, like, websites for my videos. I literally just research topics, and, like, I just research these things, and, like, you know, on viable, credible things, and I look up statements and whatnot that are viable and creditable. I don't just go to a website and just read or something. That's not what I do. So yeah, and obviously I use the tiering system from Versus Battle Wiki to decide my, the levels. That's where I get the levels from. Yeah, I do use that, but that's what everybody uses. So yeah, with that being said, I think Mario and Luigi win. I'm gonna give them 0 to no div, or actually no div to low div maybe. But yeah, they might just neg, but they don't neg Finn with speed. So yeah, I would actually take that back. I say no div to low div, but Jake is kind of, he's just kind of, he's there, but I don't really think he helps all that much. And working together, Jake's suit, that really wouldn't help that much either. So yeah, Mario and Luigi win. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the red subscribe button. Thanks for watching this long video, because if I had to bet money, I guarantee you this is really long. And yeah, okay, so I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you guys have a nice day, and yeah, I'm gone.